All right, let's talk about a plan to completely transform your study habits. And no, this isn't about magic, and it's definitely not about cramming for 12 hours straight. We're talking about 5 simple but seriously powerful habits that can change everything. So let's get right into it.
We've all been there, right? You spend hours studying, you read the same page over and over again, but when it's time for the test, your mind just goes completely blank. You're putting in all this work, but you're just not seeing the results. It's frustrating.
But here's the thing, the big secret. Becoming a better student isn't about studying harder, it's about studying smarter. And by adopting just a few small habits, you can totally redefine how you learn, how you remember, and how you feel when exams roll around.
Okay, so here's our game plan. We're going to break down 5 key habits across 4 main sections. First, we're going to expose what I call the study trap. Then we'll get into the good stuff with plan and engage, and rest and recharge. And finally, we'll wrap it all up with reflect and improve. So let's kick things off with Section 1, the study trap. This is that really common belief that success in school is all about either being naturally talented or just putting in brute force hours. But that idea, it's a total misconception, and honestly, it just leads to burnout. And this is so important to get. Success isn't about being the smartest person in the room, not at all. It's about how you organize your time, how you approach learning, and how you take care of your mind. You know, consistent, effective habits will beat raw talent any day of the week.
Which brings us to our next part, Section 2, Plan and Engage. This is where we get into the first 2 habits that are the absolute foundation of what the top students do and what makes them different.
So habit number 1 is daily planning. You see, most students don't fail because they can't study. They fail because they have no idea what to focus on. They sit down, feel completely overwhelmed by everything they have to do, and just end up procrastinating.
And this quote just hits the nail on the head. You could stay busy all day, sawing wood and hammering nails, but without a blueprint, you're not actually building anything. A plan gives you that blueprint for your learning. So how do you make this blueprint? It's actually super simple. Each day, just write down 3 to 5 important tasks. But, and this is key, avoid those vague goals like study math. Get specific. Say something like, finish the problems in Chapter 5, or review algebra formulas for 30 minutes. That kind of clarity tells your brain exactly what to do. No more guesswork.
All right, let's get to our second habit, active learning. Think about it. Most students study passively, just reading a textbook or watching a lecture. They're technically there, but their brain isn't really engaged. And then they wonder why they forget everything almost immediately.
This analogy is just perfect, right? You can watch YouTube tutorials on cycling all day long, but you'll only actually learn to ride by getting on the bike yourself. And learning is exactly the same. You have to do something with the information for it to stick. And believe it or not, there's some serious brain science that backs this up. It's called the retrieval effect. Basically, every single time your brain has to struggle a little bit to pull up a piece of information, that memory gets stronger and more permanent. Active learning is what forces that retrieval process to happen.
So what does this actually look like? Well, after you read a chapter, close the book and try to explain the main ideas out loud, or just summarize the key points in your own words. You could even try teaching it to your wall. Seriously, it works. This one little shift makes a huge difference.
Okay, next up, Section 3, Rest and Recharge. This is where we learn how to work with our brain's natural rhythms instead of fighting against them. And we're going to do it with 2 essential habits for focus and energy. Let's talk about smart breaks, our third habit. Studying nonstop? It's a trap. The human brain just isn't built for endless focus. When you try to push through without a pause, your attention plummets, your memory gets weaker, and your stress levels just shoot way up.
So how do we fix this? One of the absolute best methods is the Pomodoro technique. It's a game changer. You just set a timer for 25 minutes and give 100% of your focus to a single task. No phone, no extra tabs open, just pure, focused work.
Then, when the timer goes off, you take a short 5-minute break. And this part is crucial. Do not just scroll on your phone. Get up, stretch, look out a window. During that little bit of downtime, your brain is actually working hard, organizing and storing everything you just learned. These breaks literally recharge your brain.
Okay, on to habit number 4, your study environment. We tend to really underestimate how much our surroundings affect our ability to focus. Even if you have the best intentions in the world, a distracting environment will always win. It'll pull your attention away every single time.
I mean, the difference is night and day. A noisy room, a messy desk, and a phone buzzing with notifications make deep focus pretty much impossible. But a quiet, organized space where your phone is completely out of sight, that sends a crystal clear signal to your brain. Hey, it's time to study.
And that leads us perfectly into our final section, reflect and improve. This is the habit that acts like a multiplier. It takes all the effort you're putting into the other habits and makes them even better, day after day.
And that powerful fifth habit is daily reflection. You know, learning isn't just about doing more work, it's about getting smarter about the work you do. All it takes is spending just 5 to 10 minutes every night looking back on your day. And you do this by asking 3 really simple questions. 1, what did I actually get done today? 2, what study method really worked well for me? And 3, what's one thing I can do a little bit better tomorrow? This tiny habit turns your mistakes into lessons and your effort into real, measurable progress. You start to understand how you learn best.
So, let's put it all together real quick. Daily planning, that creates clarity. Active learning strengthens your memory. Smart breaks boost your focus. A good study environment reduces distractions. And finally, daily reflection is what drives consistent progress. See how each one builds on the others?
Look, becoming a better student isn't about some massive overnight change. It's all about consistency. You don't need to master all 5 of these habits by tomorrow. Just pick one. So, what's the one small change you'll start today? Your journey starts right now.